Hi, everyone. I'm Whitney Ortiz with Whole Health Self-Care. Thank you for taking time for yourself to join us for this Whole Health series. Top experts from around the world are highlighting how today's self-actualizing women professionals can achieve greater fulfillment, peace, and wellness, while at the same time being more productive, making better decisions, and getting to greater impact through how they show up each day visibly in the world. So I am so honored and grateful that we have with us Dr. Elizabeth Boham. She is a physician and nutritionalist with the Ultra Wellness Center in Lenox, Massachusetts. Through her practice and lecturing, she has helped thousands of people achieve their goals of optimum health and wellness. Thank you, Elizabeth, for your time and all the contributions that you've made through the functional medicine space, integrative health and wellness. It's just such an honor to have you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Whitney. It's so great to be with you. And I'm so excited that you're doing these videos, because there's so much we can share to help us all feel better and do better.
Yes, and it is such an extraordinary time that we're all searching for the tools, the techniques, the approaches that are going to help ourselves and our families. And as women who are also in demanding jobs, have a lot of pulls on their time, and those who are caring for loved ones, whether they're children or older parents, etc., there are a lot of dynamics at play. So from your specific expertise and experience, it would be so helpful. I thought we could break down our conversation into looking at the mind, the body, and then the spirit. So talking first about our minds and our mindsets, could you express a bit about the real impact that stress has on our mind and mindset? And it was really something that drove home for me when I was trying to learn more about this, why it's so important to really focus on our self-care. It's not just something nice to do. It is so needed for our own health and wellness and for everybody who we come in contact with, everyone we touch. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. So, stress is how our body responds to a demand or a threat. And so what's really important about that is that it's very individual. So we don't all respond to stresses in the same way. And I think that's important to remember and recognize. It depends on our genetics, our past environments, exposures, past experiences in our life, even what happened when we were in our mom's womb, that impacts how we respond to the stresses that come up in our life. So it's very individual is one thing. And what's also really important to recognize is our perception of that stress is what's really important. So not all stress is bad. And many times stress helps us perform well. And sometimes we kind of get in that cycle of seeing, oh, we performed well because of responding to the stress here. But then it's important to recognize that our perception of the stress really impacts how it affects our health. And we do know that chronic stress really does impact our health. It has been associated with every health condition that we see every day. So it's not the cause of every health issue, right? So it's very dependent on that individual person, which we really pay attention to. But we've recognized that it's been associated with everything from hypertension to anxiety and depression to digestive issues to migraine headaches, just regular headaches, to a weakened immune system and less response to when we get exposed to a virus and how we respond to that. It is associated with every health condition we're dealing with. So it's really important that we step back and say, how is stress impacting my health? We know that when stress increases in our body, when we have situations of stress, our cortisol goes up, our adrenaline goes up, right? That fight or flight response, that sympathetic nervous system is activated. And that causes, think about it. If you were running away from the tiger, you would want, you need that blood flow in your body to go to your muscles so you can run away. So when your sympathetic nervous system increases, when there is a perceived stress going on or a threat to your body, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up, your blood flow goes to your muscles so you can run away. But in addition to that, the blood flow doesn't go as much to your digestive system, so you don't digest your food as well. Your blood doesn't go as much to the parts of your brain that are really important for your cognitive function and your memory. And we've all had that experience, right? When it's like, stressful situation where that professor says to you, what's the answer to this question, right? And you go blank. Right? So we know that when we're running away from the tiger, we're not going to remember things as well. We're not going to perform as well. And so what's really important is our perception over those threats and stresses, and what kind of control we have over those, right? And I think what you were mentioning earlier is so critical. Our mindset is really important. If we can shift our mindset to seeing these stresses as a way of growth and learning, as opposed to something that's, oh no, what's going to happen to me now? We can shift our mindset. It really impacts how we respond over time. So, one of the things that helped me the most, so, when I was 30, so about 20 years ago, I had a aggressive, invasive breast cancer, kind of out of the blue, and with no family history. And so, of course, it was very stressful. And I didn't really, have a lot of tools in terms of how do you deal with that level of stress of having a life-threatening illness at a young age, when that is definitely not what you were planning on, especially when you're all interested in prevention and wellness, right? And so the thing that helped me the most was really starting a gratitude journal and, writing down every day, what were the things that I was grateful for, because that really helped me shift my mindset around the whole situation and just day-to-day life. Mm-hmm. I started writing down 3 things every day that I was grateful for. And at first it was really hard, but it was something that really helped me shift that mindset and lower the level of stress in my body, lower that level of fear and worry and anxiety. Mm-hmm. And there's so many other great tools to help with stress management, and in addition to doing those 3 things you're grateful for every day, everything from meditation to yoga. And it's one of the things we see all the time. My patients will always say to me, oh, well, I don't have time for self-care. And stress almost always makes us feel like we don't have the time to do it, right? That's like, it makes us feel time pressured. Like I don't have the time to do this. And it's the most important time because we do have the time. And so it's the most important time to really take our time and take care of ourselves, right? Do that self-care things that we know really helps with managing stress.
Mm-hmm. And the ripple effect that has when you're thinking about, oh, I don't have time because I've got to take care of everybody else and everything with my work and all this. But if you're showing up as this completely stressed out, drained, depleted individual, like, are you really supporting all the other people and things that you need to, and in the way that you really want to show up? And at the same time, of course, you don't have time to get sick. So if you don't have time to, support your self-care, then you're basically just putting yourself in a path of perhaps getting sick.
So true. And, even if we're just talking about a cold or flu or COVID, right? Or a real illness, I don't mean a real illness, but something more serious or life changing, stress really does decrease the functioning of our immune system. It decreases how much, the T cells and the B cells can respond to infections that we see. It impacts how we respond to vaccinations. They know when people are under chronic stress, they don't mount as much of a response to a vaccine that helps them prevent that illness in the future. It's phenomenal, the impacts that stress has on our body. And when we have some tools to manage our stress, daily breath work, meditation, yoga, you know, that gives us some control, some perception of control over that stress, which is really what's important, right? We can't get rid of all stress. We don't want to get rid of all stress. We need to have some handle and some control and some things we can do to manage that stress. And so, and everybody notices this when they do some daily meditation, breath work, it does change how they come into the world. And that's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, that we actually have that capacity in our mind through our mindset
Yeah.
to put a different meaning on the circumstances. So we're not triggered by, oh, well, I've got to be stressed because it's stressful now. But
Right.
intentional shift, that real heightened awareness of how we are being and how we're showing up for others is so important. And you bring through the body work. Well, you've given some great ideas for many about ways with our mind through the meditation, the breath work, etc. Now looking at our bodies and how we can also support through nutritional intake. And as a functional nutritionist, it would be great to hear your thoughts about those basic things to really think about what we're taking in through what we eat, what we're drinking.
Oh, you know, that's like my favorite topic.
Probably can go on for hours.
I love talking about food as medicine. You know, my undergraduate and graduate degree was in nutrition before I went to medical school. And, you know, I just always believe that food can change the world. And so I love talking about how we can use food as medicine. I think two biggest areas that I work with most people on, the most common things we have to focus on to help us feel better and perform better and have better energy, better memory, better, you know, cognitive function, look better, feel better, right? Is balancing blood sugar and increasing phytonutrients. So those are like my two favorite areas to focus on. Balancing blood sugar, we take away things that would cause spikes in blood sugar. Added sugars, you know, don't forget, like everybody's stop drinking soda, but people are forgetting about all the added sugars in our coffee drinks, right? We take away added sugars, a lot of refined carbohydrates, and really focus on the fiber, the healthy fat, and the protein. So at every meal, you want to have a really good source of fiber. Fibers in your fruits and your vegetables, your whole grains, ground flaxseed, nuts and seeds, beans and legumes are rich in fiber. So you want to have a good source of fiber, a good protein source. So your proteins would be, you know, could be animal protein, you know, meat, chicken, fish, eggs, could be vegetable protein like beans and legumes and nuts and seeds. So you want to have a good protein source at every meal, and then you want to have a good healthy fat at every meal. So whether it's your avocado, the nuts and seeds, the eggs have healthy fat, your olive oil, you know, butter, it's just good healthy fat at every meal. Those three things, the fiber, the healthy fat, and the protein, helps prevent spikes in your blood sugar. And that helps keep your blood sugar more stable throughout the day. You're less likely to feel the impact of stress. You're more likely to have better energy and to have better cognitive function and to not overreact to situations. So balancing blood sugar is key. And then the other area I love to really focus on is increasing phytonutrients. And that just really means increasing plant foods. Phytonutrients are found in all of our plant foods. So vegetables, fruits, spices, teas. Phytonutrients are the component that helps the plant stay alive in nature. And what we're learning is those phytonutrients are really good for our health too. They can lower inflammation, they can prevent, you know, decreased risk of cancer, lower blood pressure, you know, everything from EGCG in your green tea to lycopene in your tomatoes to glucosinolates in your cruciferous vegetables. These are these phytonutrients that have tremendous health benefit. So we always work with people to get in, 8 to 12 servings of phytonutrients a day. So just get more plant foods in, spices, teas, vegetables, you know, throughout the day, really are good for your overall health and will have tremendous health benefit.
No, thank you so much. And for framing it like that, because we have women from around the world who are joining us, who come from different cultures, different ways of eating, but those basic knowings apply so much across the board. And it's so enlightening to really think about all that nature is giving us and how to really be focusing to build up our own strength, resilience, protective nature, and thus that we can really show up stronger. And for today's professional women who have so many demands on them, are getting pulled in so many different directions, have a lot to think about, as well as how to help their children be at a point to be able to deal with all that is happening. It really matters that we're focusing on what is coming into our bodies.
Yeah.
And especially when there's lots of other pulls, especially in the Western world, of the processed foods, the easy to grab, etc. So thank you for all of that, really synthesizing of a lot of information for us to think about and go forward with. And now if we can shift a bit into the spiritual side, and some people think of it in spiritual or religious ways, others are considering it more as the deep emotional state of ourselves, and how we really have to acknowledge that that exists and how can we best support it. So through your work and your way, what are some other thoughts that you may have on that spirit part of us?
Absolutely. So, mind, body, spirit, it's really important for us to focus on all aspects of our health. And, we know in functional medicine that it's, we don't just focus on the labs or the medical test to know somebody's level of health. Their mind, their spirit has a huge impact on your overall health and well-being. One of the best ways I like to really help nourish my spirit is connecting with nature. And I just think that's something, I'm living in the Northeast right now of the United States. So this is a great time to get outside and to be connecting with nature. I love sitting on my porch and doing work out there, or just reading a book. I love going for hikes and walks. And, it's a really wonderful time to get out into nature, bike rides, and feel the blessing of the nature around us. And that really, I find, really nourishes my spirit. It really nourishes my well-being, and it really helps with lowering stress levels and just really connecting with what's really most important in life. And so it's really, I always encourage people, this is a time to do something every day to take care of you. Really important to focus on your self-care. And if you need to be writing it down to make sure you're checking off the boxes, okay, what did I do today for self-care? Did I get outside into nature? Did I move? Did I do my exercise? Did I eat healthy foods, right? Did I do things that help me manage my stress, right? Did I do some meditation or breath work or my gratitude journal? Did I get enough sleep or rest? Did I get enough play, right? So those are things that are really important for our self-care and help us just do better and feel better.
Mm-hmm. And if you're a caregiver, whether you're a parent or you're caring for an elder and you can't really leave to go outside and experience nature in its fullest, you can bring nature inside. If there is anything like plants or a water feature, I know some people have like a small fountain inside, like even this big that you can buy, but you can just hear the water flowing, like different things that can enable you to experience nature, or the sounds through a guided meditation, or just that healing quality can be done from even inside if they can't get out.
Oh, great ideas. Great ideas. Yes, very true.
Obviously so much better to be able to really force oneself sometimes, even just to get outside into being surrounded by nature. The whole concept of forest bathing
Yeah.
in Japan, and just focusing on a leaf, thinking in awe about the colors of a flower, those very small things to get yourself into that mindful space can help so much with our overall mind, body, spirit. So thank you so much for bringing all of this out. And for those who can connect more deeply with you on these topics, and if you're accepting new clients, how can they best engage with you?
Absolutely. So I work at the Ultra Wellness Center in Lenox, Massachusetts. You can learn more about our practice at ultrawellnesscenter.com. We do do telemedicine as well. So you don't always have to come to Lenox, Massachusetts. And my website is drboham.com. At my website, I'm offering a free ebook, so you can download a free ebook. It's on breast wellness, so a functional medicine approach. Because of my experience with breast cancer, I spend a lot of time talking about a functional medicine or integrative approach to taking care of our breast health. And so I have a free ebook there. If you wanted, you can also purchase the DVD there. There's a 30% off code breast30 wellness that you can use to get 30% off if you'd like to. And I'm of course on Facebook and Instagram, Elizabeth Boham MD, I think, Twitter, Dr. Boham at Dr. Boham maybe. So I'd love to have you come follow me.
Oh, thank you so much. And we look forward to continuing these conversations and engaging. So I appreciate so much your time and all your tremendous contributions.
Thank you, Whitney. Thank you for doing this.